Eh, yeah. I've looked at my pit. Yeah, I always look at pictures over and over again. I know it's in the somewhere. I'm looking and looking. I see. Oh, I see. There's Forrest Fenn sleeping at his desk, and Miss Ford asking him if he's sleeping. Yes, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful sight to see Forrest there sleeping. Who's on? Who's on? Who's watching? Um, Here we go. Oh, hey, Steve. Look at this. Oh, Forrest Fenn, are you sleeping? There he is, sleeping at his desk. Or there's the teacher. Of course, the orange area is I cut out the rock and all around these figures that were there, but I leave them there, and that's what's there. And you see right down here at her feet, there's like this one here, or that one there. Look at that one's perfectly, you know. Uh, yeah, one of these two, or maybe it's this one here. I don't know. Who made it live? You cool. Who made it live? You cool, Bill from you. Yeah, hey, that's probably Dean, huh? Or is it Dean or Paul? Paul, yeah. And Paul, the guy Paul that makes the videos. I was watching another friend's video and he lives over there in the UK somewhere, and his dog is Paulie. Oh wow, coincidences. So yeah, this isn't a coincidence. This is Forrest Fenn sleeping on his desk. Miss Ford waking him up. He was having a dream there. He's there having a dream. He's on Gardiner's Island, and whoa! And she startled him awake, scared the hell out of him. Are you sleeping? Yeah. And I think the treasure's at her feet here, or, under there's somewhere around there under the desk at her feet, something like that. Scott, oh yeah, I was just saying yesterday, I'm descended from Christina de Bruce, Robert de Bruce's sister. She's one of my ancestors. Oh, I come from the Walker clan, and the McGregors and the Walkers. Rob Roy McGregor is a first cousin of my sixth great grandfather, uh, uh, James McGregor, Reverend James McGregor, who came to America. They had left Wigton, Scotland, and went to Londonderry, Ireland for a little bit, and then came over. So they were really Scotch. They weren't Scotch Irish. They were, And he said, we're Scotch. We're not Scotch Irish." But yeah, there's Forrest Fenn at his desk. I think. Do I have? Yeah. Let me undo, edit, undo. I'm gonna undo removing pieces of the picture. Edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo. See, I'm putting pieces of the picture back in that I cut out, and that's all I'm doing here. Um, Edit, undo. There. See, so that's what it is. And that turns into. As Forrest Fenn sleeping at his desk at the schoolhouse, out the window, down the fire escape. Maybe So this is what you come up against. You come up with these images, and you got to figure out, well, which one of them is the treasure? These guys, or is it maybe Lewis and Clark? I got Lewis and Clark too, and Lewis and Clark from this is maybe 500 feet or 300 feet. I don't know, somewhere in there, 300 to 500 feet. Maybe 200 feet. I'm not, when you're going through the woods and stuff, and you're zigzagging around trees and around rocks trying to get to your spot, you know, will come back to me. You all seen that picture there. You know, if you're still watching the gypsies, you're not watching the winners. Oh, there's no. This isn't anywhere where I'd have a problem with the flash. It's all storm. There's a big old cumulus cloud over the area, so I know it's raining like hell up there, and it'll be here soon. It's just black over there. It's totally black. You can't see the mountains because of all the clouds and stuff right now. I look at my weather forecast. I shared it in a post here. So I don't have to go to the weather page. I just go to my post I made. And yeah, today's 40% chance of thunderstorms, high of 80. We're at 75 now. But once the thunderstorm comes through here, it'll be 65. And let's see. Tuesday night, chance of thunderstorms 30%. Wednesday, 40%. Thursday, 40%. Friday, 40%. And they all start right there on top of the treasure. So that's why afternoon, evening is a good time to go search. One thing, it's cooled off because the storm cooled off the air, and it stopped raining. But you can't go searching in the middle of the day because it rains so much. Yeah, we got just forecast of rain, 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 rain. So, what's anybody think of that picture, huh? Do you think that's it? The gypsy thing is so pompous and very boring. Yeah, yeah. You learn about his video background. Well, some good peyote in those hills. What they got is they got them Amanitas muscarias, the reindeer mushrooms. The Siberians would go drink the reindeer pee to get these hallucinogens, because they used the reindeer to filter out the poison, and so it was safe to drink after the reindeer process. And hallucinogens just they can be recycled. they can pee in a cup and drink it and get high again. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of those, and I got some really cool pictures and made some nice art from pictures of those mushrooms. I use them for the text in my Mammoth Temple posters. I use them for when you do a text, you got an outline. Yeah, I can choose how wide the outline around the text is, and you can put patterns into it, and I put that in there. I use Forrest Fenn's belt buckle for a pattern in some of the text. You see some green text on some of my little cartoons, and that's from his belt buckle. So, yeah, that nobody's saying, "Hey, that's great. That is his teacher. That is him sleeping at the desk. That's great." Yeah. The thumbnail for this video alone just says volumes. a picture speaks 1,000 words, and I got him, Lewis and Clark, the Biddy's boys, and the uh, just all of his stories are on the rocks. I want to put that picture back up there because it's so cool. You know. Boop, boop. There we go. Cut out of it's there at my Mammoth Temples, and Lewis and Clark is just down the hallway from here, and the bell is at the end of the hallway from what I call a hallway is a terrace. There are terraces, and it's on the second terrace too. The second step up. Yeah, there's the first step, second step. So it's up on the and a terrace is along like a hallway. He called them a hallway instead of a terrace. So, and Moses is on the second step. Boop-a-doo. There he is sleeping on his desk, dreaming of Captain Kidd. She woke him up and scared the crap out of him. He thought he was on Gardiner's Island. Maybe Captain Kidd was going to make him walk the plank or something. Maybe that's what scared him. But, you know, Terrence McKenna speak about the reindeer. Yeah. Yeah, and Graham Hancock will talk about the ayahuasca and all the medicine stuff, and even Forrest said that Kawana Parker went to the Indian church, also known as the Peyote Church. So, and he said your imagination's more important, and my imagination got me here, got me to this, and all the poo poo heads, try and discredit me and try and call me a nutcase, and they'll be eating the crow. They'll be eating the crow. Yeah, I don't know if it's legal to hunt crow, but if I could, I would have an order delivered to their house. Yeah. I'd like to order some crow for delivery, Albuquerque. I just gave collection agency hell this morning for the ticket I had. They were the court. I guess told them that I didn't that I defaulted and I had to pay a fine and all that. And the court says no, that's not true. And they said, well, the court told us this on this day, and no, it's not true. I called the court, and so now I'm calling lawyers too because they put that negative stuff on your credit, and it's not true, and it's baloney. Every time I've asked the court, and I've paid the court everything that they asked for, so I've got an appeal, and it's coming up. I guess they're going to have the transcript done on the 13th and that stuff, and I'm just fighting a red light ticket, but I'm right, and it costs you about 3 times what the ticket does to appeal it, but if you're right, it's worth it because it actually would cost 4 times what these fees are. It costs 4 times that for my insurance for RV and car. My car's full coverage, and then I had the RV with liability only. So So I'm full covered on the car, so I'm basically, whatever. If the car if the RV wreck pulling the car, I'm gonna get bailed out some way. I'll get enough for the car to get an old RV, or a good down payment on a place to live. Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna look under Forrest Fenn's desk. Um, do I have to look under Miss Ford's skirt? I hope not. That might be frightful. Especially, I'm sure Miss Ford is 100 and something now. Uh, uh, yeah, when you're a kid, somebody 30, 25 years old is an old person when you're 10, 12 years old and stuff. Teenagers are up there. A buddy's walking by. Um, oh. So, yeah, I found that in my picture. I have this one picture, and I was looking at it. That's him laying on the desk. And I'd been near there, um, but it was difficult. It's difficult to find. You see it from a distance, and then when you get out there in the woods and you're trying to find it, it's a different story. Okay, where exactly is that it? you know. So I'm pretty sure Miss Ford has it. It's there under his desk, or she has it, or it's just below there on the next one down. And I got to think of where warm waters halt, so you got to go down. So that would be the blaze, and I look quickly down because there's if it's there, you got to go down the hall to that spot. And if it's not there, you want to look below it. You got to come back down the hall and up the other hall to that spot. And if it's not there, then you got to come back down the hall and around and come up underneath the area from another direction. Unless you're a rock climber, I don't like to climb too many rocks. Gardiner has an eye in it. Gardiner's Island Gardiner has an eye in it. And I think the one in Montana also has the eye in it because it's the same Gardiner as I lived in Gardiner, Oregon, and I found a tiki head on Gardiner's Island, searching for a drone, my first drone that flew away, and it flew across and it landed on the shoreline of the island. It got wet, but it destroyed it. But I found this 3-4 foot tall tiki head. I'm not gonna look up the picture of that. Yeah, I got this big tiki head, and I even video of when I found that because I'm walking through it, and there's the belly high grass like Forrest talks about, it wasn't belly high maybe, but it was all grassy and marshy. It was like a bunch of plants that made the island, and it was like really soggy, spongy, and then there were ruts of where water would come in because it was in like an estuary.
Mm-hmm.
And so the plants were like part in water and part in mud, and you walk on top of the plants like the Hardy Boys books when I was a kid. Yeah, that's yeah. I guess you seen the thumbnail with the teacher and him sleeping at his desk, uh, and it's right next to all the other stuff, right by the hand holding the bell and the Lewis and Clark and and everything else there. Um, And actually, at the feet of the teacher and under his desk is a crack under the rock that's maybe this high. That's enough to slide the chest in there. And that's why he said, ooh, an earthquake. Oh, that could crush it. Could be. It could just be at her feet. And hope that nothing above falls on it. Top of her, that rock face is like 15 feet high. And so, bottom of that, there's not likely anything to fall on it there. That rock and that formation's been there for 13,000 years undisturbed, because that whole scene is on that wall there, pretty clear. He's sleeping at his desk. Love it, love it, love it. Forrest, are you sleeping? No, Miss Ford. Well, your eyes were closed. My eyes were open, Miss Ford. My eyelids were closed. I think that's an elephant head in the desk in front of it. So, yeah, so now the plan is I've reached my time and I can head back up there to camp and everyday search, as weather permits. I can do morning search. I've been out and gone out to search at 9 a.m. and got rain, So it's usually it's better to wait in the evening. The storms pull out over the valley in the evening. This must be the sun pushing off the mountains. Any hints from Treasure Island movie? Yeah. Treasure Island was a subtle hint to was it Treasure Island? Oh yeah. Which one's Treasure? Oh, Treasure Island was the one with Long John Silver. It's the other one, Captain. Yeah, there's more clues in that because pirates find these things by the faces and the shapes and the rocks. There's those be his eyes and that be his nose. The nose to the toes points the way to the treasure. There's a skeleton hanging in a tree in that direction, So. Because when they buried the treasure, they killed the guy that they brought to dig the hole. you know? So you don't ever volunteer to be the hole digger. Because it's for you. Oh, what do you think about the poem being about Lewis and Cal? I never heard of Cow Island. It's not part of my solve, so it isn't where Miss Ford is waking up Forrest Fenn. It's not where Miss Ford is waking up Forrest Fenn from his dream of Gardiner's Island. Think about when he was 12. This is when he was 12. Miss Ford was the teacher in junior high in 7th grade. When he was 12. That's the teacher holding the book. That's Forrest sleeping on his desk. So when he says he embellishes some, yeah, he was sleeping. But no, Miss Ford, he got woke up from his dream of Gardiner's Island. That's super cool. You hear it, Forrest? Does that please your ghost? Oh, you're not a ghost yet. I know. Does it please your soul then? I'm in the right spot. It was where the paddle boats couldn't go any further up the Missouri. Oh, you see, the way it relates to Lewis and Clark was Lewis and Clark, that was the Northwest Passage. That was the Northwest Passage, and this is the Southwest Passage. This is where Lewis and Clark, my ancestors, Robert Rogers, where did he go? He's somewhere on there, right behind me probably. I got one with me of as Robert right here. This guy right here. Unplugged phone. That guy there. Robert Rogers. It looks like me, doesn't it? Because it is. There's a bad artist that drew him, and so, and we look alike. So, and I was told by a psychic I was him in a past life. But Robert Rogers petitioned the king in 1765 for an expedition up the Missouri River to the Shining Mountains, from which it's a 20-mile carry to Oregon River, which leads to the Pacific Ocean. And that's the instructions that Lewis and Clark brought along with them, was the instructions that my ancestor's brother, my fifth great grandfather's brother, Robert Rogers, he made that. And so this, his expedition was up in Missouri. He sent guys out in 1765, sent the expedition out, and the guys traded all the goods they had for a chunk of Wisconsin. They didn't even go on the journey, and they screwed up my relative, put him in debtor's prison because of all the money he borrowed for the expedition, and these guys squandered the goods on some land from some Indians, and there's even a story on a haunting about Somerville, I think it is, or Summerwind, haunting at Summerwind. Look it up, and yeah, British, yeah, he's buried over there at Elephant, supposed to be buried at Elephant and Castle in London in 1792 or something, 1790, 92, somewhere in there. But I got a picture of a grave in New Hampshire. It could be his, because he faked his death to be able to come back. but so that expedition, Missouri River, but it's called the Northwest Passage. Okay? But Fenn's is about the Southwest Passage the ancient people took and left all these sculptures up there, and Clovis people riding the mammoths and the mammoth worshippers, and all these. There are so many figures on the canyon walls and stuff that you can find just about any story there. Any story, just everything is happening. There's all kinds of figures. What man and a woman, man and two women. They were cavemen, got one in each. You got two hands. You can drag two women along with you. So, yeah, I think that should be big news in the Fenn world, but those other channels won't ever say anything that Bill Gorman's found some fantastic stuff. No, because I think the problem is they can't see my pictures, because they have cranial rectosis. And if they would pull their heads out, they could see the pictures and go, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's just the gypsies. Don't give them a hard time. It's a medical condition, cranial rectosis. Lots of people suffer from it, and some people even suffocate from it because they can't breathe with their head up there. You know. Forrest is laughing. Hi, Forrest. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is thing. I show my pictures of what I find, but I don't tell you where it is. You know but you got a big area, and you have to see what I seen to get where I'm at. And you're not going to see that even that picture. I had to climb a hill to get that picture, and that's you know you're not going to see it unless you go for a hike. You're not even going to be able to take that picture unless you go for a hike. And yeah, it was worth the cold to go get that picture. That's for sure. I don't know. I got Lewis and Clark. I got these guys. I got the Buffalo Cowboy cowl from the car with the 50 caliber hole to the nose, and I got the whole deck of cards. I got all of his stories I've got evidence of all his stories written in stone, and they're too drunk. Yeah, they're too drunk. They drank too much wine. Their vision is blurred. Yeah, a bunch of alcoholics. I guess show you, who's smarter, the alcoholic or the guy that uses for medical purposes. The guy that smokes for the traditional native. The natives, they didn't have alcohol. The Europeans brought alcohol over here, and that really screwed up the natives. Because they've been smoking their peace pipe for thousands of years and had no problem until these bunch of clowns brought over a bunch of alcohol and screwed up their heads. They can't even, yeah, they drink and they get more belligerent. Too, I noticed. But David Knight, I have some respect for you still. Those other guys, they try and poop on my stuff and say I'm seeing imaginary things. These are actual archaeological ruins, and a university professor of archaeology is be doing research on it. He says it's amazing. So, when you tell them that, hey, I got a professional backing me up with what I've found, and all you got is your horse's ass, I got the mammoth solve, super omegas. This is crazy. Whatever. I ain't getting. You think the shadow picture on the front of the book in Lewis is honeycomb hat and his spittoon. That's the river here. A lot of these mountain creeks look like that when you look in them. the direction of the shadow would, if we don't know if it was morning or an evening but it's similar. It's a similar. It's a substitute. His father was trying to find a substitute, and the phone was ringing. The bell was at the end of the hallway. The bell in the phone was at the end of the hallway. If you've gone to school, you got hallways there too, and a hallway is a hallway. A hallway is an alley or street. It's the boulevard or whatever. So it's a place where kind of a box canyon. You going in. There's one direction. You going in through there. You got to go in there all the way to the end, the opposite end from the bell. And that's where the teacher in the Forrest Fenn's sleeping. I'll put it back. I'll put that back on the screen for anybody recently come in. Forrest, are you sleeping? Oh, yeah. And I showed him that's cut out. The orange is I changed the background. I cut it out and put it over a sunset. But that's what it is without changing it. There. So, this Forrest Fenn sleeping there, dreaming of Gardiner's Island. And Miss Ford woke him up from his nightmare of being on Gardiner's Island, right? No, my eyes were open. He was looking in his imagination. And I got targets around her feet. Oh, that might be one there too. You see it? Right there. And no, that's not. That looks like that's part of that white from that rock, and it's making a false. But over here at her feet, there's this, this, or this. One of these. And there's a crack along the bottom of the hill of this rock. There's an open gap in here. So look in there. You're going to have to wait while I refill my tea. So, I don't know. What do I say? So a lot of people don't understand my solve and bring up things that are like way out there that don't tie into my tight focus on these things that are really the most awesome targets. Nobody has targets like me. Yeah, they thrive on YouTube. Oh yeah, what time is it? Oh, they're coming on now. So let me get off the air so they can get on the air and tell them, hey, Bill Gorman found Forrest Fenn sleeping on his desk with Miss Ford waking him up. Bill Gorman found Lewis and Clark. Bill Gorman, yeah. Well, no, you mentioned Bill Gorman and they might, so are you a chicken or are you going to go there and you're going to harass them? Say, hey, Bill Gorman has this and that. Bill Gorman's on to it, and you're fools. Have a good day. I'm done. I'm gonna drink my tea. I gotta fix breakfast yet, and it's on one in the afternoon. See ya.